Hi everyone, I'm Sandy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have my January TBR for you. Frustrated because this is the second or third time that I've been filming this because someone, that would be me, had their headphones connected via Bluetooth and didn't have any audio in the last version of the one that I did. So you know, sometimes those things happen when you're filming. Hi, welcome. Today, like I said, I have my January TBR for you. I have a great number of books selected. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, you may know that I've been struggling to read over the last 6 months, but I feel like that's shifting and has been shifting really recently for me. And to the point where I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to kind of have a Sandy level TBR for you, with a lot of incredible and amazing books. Yeah, I feel good about it. So hopefully you consider giving me a like, a comment, a subscribe, and sticking around and seeing how I do on my January TBR. Like I said, I'm very optimistic, very, very optimistic. So let's dig into what we're going to do. All right. The first book is for the 1001 Book Club. If you're not familiar with the 1001 Book Club, it is one I co-host with Britta Bowler. We both have very large lists, 1001 with 1001 books on them. We looked at both lists and picked 6 books that cross both lists so that we could co-host the book club together. We co-hosted it last year. It wasn't as successful for me last year just because I was so busy. We pared down the list to 6 to make it a little bit more reasonable. And so the first book is really the January-February book, and it is Reasons to Live by Amy Hempel. And this, I believe, is a collection of short stories. I think there are 7. I could be making that number up, but I plan on kind of doing more of a vloggy kind of style for this and just taking my time with it and really spending some time and writing some notes and thinking about this book a bit more since it is for the book club. So January, February book club pick, Reasons to Live. I hope you consider joining us in reading this particular one. After that, what I decided to do was go to the library and see what books they had that were available off of my list that I had pre-selected. So every year at the beginning of the year, I pre-select 52 books with the idea of reading one per week. And this year I did a little bit different. I decided to pick a random letter and then read the authors that had last names starting with that letter. I love this method because it's very random, yet still provides me a good list of authors and books to look at. And yeah, I think I came up with some good ones for the month of January. The library had some books available in my local library, and those are the ones that I went for. The first one is Blind Man with a Pistol by Chester Himes. I feel like this should be very film noir, crime kind of book, but I don't actually know. I was surprised when there was a book, I think it was Man with a Golden Arm. I also thought was going to be that way, and it was so not that. So I don't know on this one. It might be, it might not be. I have no idea. I feel like this name too, Chester Himes, feels very old-timey kind of vibe to it, but I don't know anything more than that. But it was available at my library when I went in today to pick it up. So that's great. I also ended up finding Dispatches by Michael Herr. This was in nonfiction. I was surprised because there is not a ton of nonfiction on this list. And so every time I come across one, I'm always just a little bit surprised. I would have expected like 1001 nonfiction books you must read kind of a list. But it's so minimal. The nonfiction is just so minimal. So I don't know like why this one and not other ones would be on the list. But it was at the library. And I think it's about Vietnam, if I remember correctly. So that is the second one I found at the library. I also found 2 ebooks available now. One is Carry Me Down by MJ Hyland. I have this as an ebook on my from Libby, and then I have Left-Handed Woman by Peter Handke as well. So those 2 I feel like are going to be, I feel like those 2 should also be pretty manageable. That puts me at 5,001 books, which would be phenomenal. But then because I'm me, I also went and found this one, The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. Because I selected authors that start with H, I have 3 Hardys that I need to read. And if you're familiar with Hardy at all, you may know he is miserable. He can be miserable. I love one of the comments that someone left me that said you could just read all 3 in May for a misery May and really be miserable. I was like, that's fair. That's a very fair comment. And I love that comment. It's so much, by the way. I'm going to try and not do that to myself. I'm going to read this one in the beginning of the year. I'll try and read one kind of over the summer, and then I will read one in the fall. I know I have to read Woodlanders, and then there's another one that I can't remember the full name of without looking at it. So that is the Thomas Hardy I'm going to try and tackle. So, even though the number is kind of a bigger number, the page count is not. It is not a huge number of pages. So I'm hoping, I'm telling myself that makes that reasonable, that these books are going to be reasonable given that they're not huge. I don't even know how many pages are in the other ones. I don't know. I haven't looked. So like I said, I feel energized, feel ready to tackle it again. I feel like I have some, motivation and momentum. So we're going to capitalize on that in the month of January. The other book I have is a group read with a lovely group of booktubers, which are Gemma from Gemma Books, Jack from Spread Bookjoy, and Dia from Novel Idea. And we will be reading Lirael by Garth Nix. This is our second Garth Nix that we will have read together. I can't remember the name of the other one that we read. I do remember liking it, but that's all I remember right now. So I'm excited to pick it up and dig into it. I love reading with these ladies. If I would just participate in the book club or in the book or the group read just because I love chatting with them. So I hope this is a good one. Fingers crossed it's a good one. I think it's 438 pages. So it's not, I thought it was like 700. So that's not too bad. I'm okay. I think I'm okay. All right. The other thing I would like to try and do, I said this in 2024 and it did not happen, is start 1001 Arabian Nights. I kind of have an idea of reading a story kind of at a time and maybe kind of documenting it with a short. I don't know. I'll have my channel plans video coming out soon, and I will talk about exactly kind of what I want to do with this. But I really want to start reading this. This is, of course, on the 1001 book countdown list, and I need to start it. I feel like I'm ready to kind of start this and see how far I can get, how many nights I can get into with this particular one. There are 3 volumes in this series, by the way, so it's a big investment of time to read this particular one. But I'm not even going to commit to finishing this in 2025, even the volume 1. I just want to start it. I just want to get in it. I want to dig in a little bit and start reading it. All right. On top of that, I have a couple books that are in flight right now. One is this one, An Immense World by Ed Yong. This was a subscriber favorite read from 2024, and I am loving it. It is very detailed though. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of information packed into this, but it is really fascinating in the different animals and how they see or hear or smell or have pain or sense heat. There's a lot to this book. But this one, I'm filming this kind of at the end of December. So I think this one will fall into a little bit of January, but I'm going to try and finish this one. That's the goal with this, is to finish it. I also have this one, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I have an upcoming project which you'll know about fairly soon, about a thing that I'm doing with this one, but I have started this one. I've read the first story in it, which is called Lovers. So I've got that one. And then the other thing is I went to the library today, and my library has a great section called Ready Reads, which is basically an area that can have new releases in it that you can't put on hold. You can't reserve them. It is first come, first serve. You take a chance on when you go there if they have one, and every library has different Ready Reads available. And today I found this one. What Does It Feel Like by Sophie Kinsella. And it's a short little book as well, but I was intrigued by it just because of what the first line in the book had said. So not the line in the book, sorry, it was the summary. It says, Eve is a successful novelist who wakes up one day in a hospital bed with no memory of how she got there. Cool. All right. So I decided to pick this one up, and that's really all I have quote unquote planned. It does feel very much like a me TBR, but I don't have a 800-page book in it, so it's not fully something that I've done in the past. It's not overloaded with nonfiction. It's got a lot of titles that I think will keep my momentum going, my energy going for reading. I hope so. I really hope so. It's nice to kind of feel a little bit back to normal with it after having so many months of just struggling to read. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, I want to read that one. 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 So fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully you can give me a comment. Let me know what you think of these books. Are you excited about any of them? If you don't feel like leaving a comment, you can leave a snowflake. It's not snowing where I'm at, but it is still winter, so why not? Or leave me any kind of emoji. I love seeing those. And I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited about my January reading. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. It's a good month. I hope it sets me up for a good year. But as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, thanks. Bye.